In this video, we are going to learn this effect where if I hover on something, it makes the rest of the elements look inactive. You could see wherever I hover, the rest of it are slightly like transparent or dimmer. And when I'm not hovering on anything, all of the items look normal. But as soon as I go there, it changes the rest of the items to be inactive. It looks cooler. And again, I'm working on like some more stuff to create in future, so you could see this would be available in future. So maybe consider subscribing and liking so that you could get notified when I create all this stuff. You see how cool it looks. And one more thing is this effect can work with anything. So right now I can make them blur like this. Looks cool, right? And then I can also do stuff like this, where if I have multiple image, or if I just want to do something like this. So it works for every single element. It doesn't just have to be a text or image. One more thing I want you guys to know that I actually have lots of Elementor templates, and these are just not normal templates. These are also like effects. So like cool features and stuff that you could do. You could see, and some of them are free, some of them are paid. So depending on what you want to do, you could check it out. You could see this effect like this. And I also have a blog which has a lot more features. It has more features than Elementor templates because some of this just have code without any templates. And I've also created a Facebook group where you could come and ask some questions regarding my templates and get notified about it. So without any further ado, let's just start making this stuff. So first thing first, I'm just going to create a simple container like this. You could add any elements, but let's first start with text. I'm going to add my text and I'm just going to call it, I guess, heading. Why not? Let's make it white in color, and then I'll just make it intertight. I just like that font, and just make it bigger like this. Okay, so let's also make it be in center, and let's just duplicate it few more times. Before we do that, how about we first add an HTML widget in here, and this code would be in description, and I'll show you how we can actually change stuff to have like different effect. It doesn't just have to be that opacity effect. So first thing first, I'll give it a class of first on our heading DMhoverText. So you could see CSS class, and then I'll duplicate it few more times. I guess 4 is enough for this tutorial. And then let's just copy and paste it in here, and let me show how this looks. And you could see the effect is not actually working, and that is because our heading is in H2. Okay, so if you want to keep your heading in H2, I'll show you what to do it. But by default, if I change it to span, so let me just copy this, paste style, and paste style. Okay, by doing paste style, it does not change the HTML tag. So let's manually do that. And another thing I totally forgot to tell you that you don't have to add a text color in here. So make sure it's clear, because we would be adding our text color from our code, which is like pretty easy to do. So I'm just going to clear everything like this. Let's do preview. You could see it's already working in our editor. Sometimes it might not work, but it's okay as long as it works in the main page. So you could see as soon as I hover, it changes stuff like this. If I want to give it a cursor of like, let's do like cursor pointer, and that way my mouse would turn into this hand icon. So let me first show you what we can do if we want to do it in H2. So if I want this to be in H2 or any other stuff that you have used, let me make everything H2 like this. In the code, what we are going to do is we are going to just do space H2 like this, and here I'll also do space H2. Make sure it's H2 dot inactive like this, and inside of here I'll also type H2. And as soon as I do that, you could see it would start working. So let's go in our live page and see, and you could see it works. So if you had anything else like H3, H5, P or anything, you type that. So you could see it works nicely. Now how about we learn to create like more stuff. So right now the way it works is, if I show my CSS class, this is the default one. So color RGBA, which is like white color, like this. You could just search for hex color. Like if you click on hex color picker, you could actually just go in here and then search for RGB. So this is 2555, like this, 255, 255, 255. But this is RGB, but we have RGBA. You could see, and A is basically opacity. So 0 would make it invisible, 0.5 would make it like 0.5% of visibility, and 1 would make it fully visible. So you could see we have inactive, which is around here, and any code that you add in here would be added to anything that is not hovered on. So if I go in here and then let's say I type filter blur 5 pixels, what do you think would happen? So it's not visible in here because it's JavaScript. So let's go on live page, and you can see it suddenly started doing this. And remember that I have added a transition of 0.3 seconds. So if you want it to be faster, so if you want this to be, if I had to, let's say I did 3 seconds, then it would take 3 seconds to turn into like this blurry stuff. So right now you could see it was fast, but right now if I go like this, it takes like way too much time, you could see. Also, I'm not sure why it started doing the scale effect. It should not happen in your site. Okay, so 3 seconds is too much, obviously, so I'll keep it at 0.3 seconds so that it's faster. And you could add any effect here if you want to have like different color and all. And also if you added like filter blur in here, let's say if it's not doing the transition, make sure you go and add filter around here and just do 0 pixels so that it goes from this value to this value. Sometimes it might just instantly switch instead of taking like 0.3 seconds. So if something like that happens, just add a filter blur with 0 pixels in here. If you want something else, a different color, let's say if I want like a green color, I can obviously do that. Make sure it's RGBA. So I'll just do that. You could also do hex. It's not, you could use hex colors too. It's not like anything different. RGB is just easier to work with, like the last value for opacity. And you could see it suddenly makes rest of the stuff green, but it does not look good. So I'm just going to make it have the same color, and I'm going to give it opacity of 0. And obviously as we have given it opacity 0, you know what would happen? It would just disappear. You could see. So how about I just show you how to do it for images. So I'm just going to create a new one, and the reason I'm showing new one is you might have multiple elements that require this effect. So you cannot just use this same code. You will need to do some changes in here to make sure it works for like every single group, like different groups. So I'm just going to go in here again, do the same thing, make this black so that it's easier to wave. I'll do left to right, center, center, and then let's just add an image. I'm just going to add my own image, and I'm going to make this, I'll just duplicate it like this. Okay, so 4 of it, maybe like 30 padding. Okay, so the same thing we will do. We will add an HTML widget in here. In case it is looking like this, you could just hide it in here like this in your editor. But if you go to my blog page where I have given this code, you could see this is the code that I've given, which I've like also used. If you want to add effect to the new groups, this is some stuff that you need to do, and it's nothing crazy. You can use your custom name, and wherever it's the same color, you just use the same name. So how about we do that? And also make sure you do not just go in here and then click replace, because that just messes it up. Because you could say if I do, let's say DM hover right now, and if I try to do find next, you could say it is also changing DM hover in here instead of just changing like this text, which is like in green color. You could see it is also changing like DM hover text. So we don't want that to happen. So do not do this, do manually. It does not take much time. So first thing first, we need to change this red color one, which is this one, right? So I'll just make it DM over image. Let's do this, and here also I'll do this. So DM over image. So we do not need to do h2 because we are not using a text. And here we will change DM over image. So red, red, red. Then we have blue. So here I'll just type DM over image. And this is JavaScript, so here you would not be able to add like dash and all. And also make sure that whatever you type with, if H is capital, make sure wherever you type it, the like casing is same. So we will change this because it is blue. Then this one I'll change it, and then I'll change it around here like this. Next we have the green color one. So make sure none of this like have the same name. Okay, so do some changes. I'll do DM hover img, and then change around here where it is green. Then I have around here which is green, and then I have around here which is green, and then I have around here which is green. And it should still work without doing, I think, this stuff, because you don't really need to do like green and this pink color names, but it's still better to have it so that it does not have any conflict. But even if you don't change the green and pink, it should work technically, but I very much require you to like change it so you know what it's happening. So DM hover, I'll type image item like this. So copy this in the pink. Let's do for the pink, and let's do for the pink. And now all we simply need to do is copy this stuff. Obviously we do not need color because we are using image. I'll keep the blur effect because I like it. In our HTML, I'll just paste it like this. Also make sure this CSS class, which is DM hover image, is actually given to all this stuff. And let's do preview changes. And you could see as soon as I hover on it, it simply made it blur. And obviously you could do more effects, so stuff like you could also add do comma, grayscale, and then 0% like this. And I'll also do opacity 0.5. Okay, I forgot you do not type like comma in here. Okay, so make sure you do not add multiple commas in filter. Also this should be 100 not 0, because if you are doing 0, it's doing like no changes. So grayscale 100, blur 5, opacity 5. And you could see we got this nice effect when we hover on something. And that's all you need to do. How you can like change stuff by simply just typing effects around here, and then also how you can like change amounts around here. And if you're trying to do this border effect, it's simply just adding CSS borders. Okay, so like I added border in here. I might as well show it in case some of you are new to coding or CSS. Well, I'll type 2 pixels, solid and red like this. Or maybe I'll do 0 in here. Or should I do like 2? And then here I'll do 0. So that anything that is not hovered on will have 0 pixels of border. So you see this effect? Looks pretty cool, right? If you want to see like this effect, I have simply just changed the inactive color to be different and then kept this like 2 pixels. Okay, so yeah, same, nothing crazy. And please check out stuff from my templates from my blog and then Facebook page. And yeah, that's all. Goodbye.